The problem with old computers perhaps isn't as simple as we may have originally thought.
You have an old computer, you can put a light operating system on it, like an old version of Windows, like Windows 7, or you can put a light version of Linux on it. But even if the operating system is using a small amount of memory and the processor is idle, the problem with old laptops and old hardware is, unfortunately, the internet. The internet has changed to the point where you need a powerful system just to load basic websites because they've become full of adverts, video adverts, animated adverts, all sorts of different technology going on that even a relatively calm website like The Guardian is using 100% processor at times as it just loads things and loads images, and there may be videos, there may be adverts with videos in them. And this is the problem with using old hardware. It's not necessarily just about Windows and new versions of Windows being too demanding. It's actually what we use computers for has changed in that we now go on multimedia websites and slow hardware really struggles with this kind of stuff. So it seems like, this laptop, even though it's running Windows 8, it's done all the Windows updates, it's still going to struggle with websites that are rich in content, and it's going to struggle with video playback. And on YouTube, I've used the H.264 plugin to help with video playback, and that definitely helps. But it's also, just general browsing around YouTube that's pretty slow. You can see that the processor usage is at maximum. So I guess a solution is really needed to help these old computers. Without the websites giving some kind of consideration for lower power machines, it doesn't really matter what operating system's on this. It could be anything. If the websites are not tailored for older systems, they're not going to give a useful experience. So I'm gonna show you a video playing on this. I'm not even at a stage of playing a video and it's using 100% CPU. I'll show you a video playing on this, and then we'll switch to a different operating system and see if the experience is better. But what I think will be happening is we'll have the same experience on a different operating system, and it's because this old hardware is just not up to the task of modern websites. And you can sort of see this is an AMD A4 1200 CPU. We've got a touch screen, and this CPU is from 2013. It's low power, but it is also very slow. And it's just one of those things where it doesn't matter, I guess, what you do with this laptop, the CPU is just too slow. So let's just watch a video. On here, and I'll show you what's happening. I'm using Supermium, which is a browser that's more up to date than Chrome and works on Windows 8. So here's a video with another slow processor that really struggles due to all the additional software. But yeah, you can see how slow this is, just in how quickly it responds. And this is going to make this video a little bit longer as we wait for the laptop to kind of get going. We've got a full 5 bars of Wi-Fi, and really looking forward to reaching 2,000 subscribers. That'd be really cool. Thanks for everyone for subscribing, really appreciate it. It's still loading. still loading, and yeah, it kind of gets to the point where a laptop with a processor like this, you really need to rethink what it is best suited for. I think for this system, this isn't really a system that's suited for video. Let's mute myself. This isn't really a system suited for video or web use. It's just too slow, really. I haven't actually put the plugin for the H.264 playback on this browser. I actually put that on Chrome, so that'll be why it's a little bit slower. And we will get a little bit better performance with the H.264 IFI plugin. But yeah, this is really low quality, low resolution, really slow playback with really lots of drop frames. Okay, so we've put the H.264 IFI extension, and we should be getting a little bit better playback here. Let's close these and wait for the ability to skip this ad. I'll just check that it's actually working. I've switched over to Google Chrome because this seems to be giving us a better playback experience. Still with the plugin, I'm using Enhanced H.264 IFI here, and we've managed to stop being at the maximum CPU utilization. So playback is possible, but we've had to add a plugin, and it's still using a lot of processor. So let's switch to a different operating system and see how it performs. Okay, so here we are booted on the same machine into Puppy Linux, and we've got all these on the desktop. Oh, we can also use a touchscreen, but I won't because it doesn't seem to kind of understand scrolling very well. But we've got the CPU usage on the desktop as well as the memory usage just underneath. And let's just try and have a look at the same websites and see what happens. And you can kind of see it's pretty slow. Which article did I click on? Not entirely sure, but let's just click this because it's less serious than some of the others. We're using the Pale Moon web browser that comes with Puppy Linux, and we've got cookie pop-ups, another annoying feature of the internet. You know, cookies are everywhere. Maybe you should just click it once for your internet session when you first go on a website and apply it to all sites, because, you know, anyway, it does make the internet browsing experience worse than it needs to be. So I don't feel like we're getting the full web experience. So this doesn't look right. If we use a different version of Linux and a different web browser, we'll probably get a better experience. But let's see what happens when we go to YouTube and try and play back a video. We're getting a system that's using less memory, but we've still got a slow processor that still has to deal with the same content from the internet. And the internet isn't really built for slow PCs anymore. Okay, we're going to have to wait for the pop-up. It asks for our consent to use the website. And I guess this is kind of perhaps a little bit in response to where my other video around Windows 11 not working on older machines, and the solution being, oh, we'll just put Linux on it. And yes, Linux is a really good idea if you're happy using Linux, but it doesn't really, it will help an older machine with less performance, but it doesn't help something that is just simply too slow, which this laptop is. I should probably go for the same video as before, but let's just go for this one and see what we get. And you can see the CPU usage is, way up there at 87%. And it's a slow experience. I guess there has to be a cutoff point for what you would consider a usable laptop or a usable machine, and this is definitely right at the sort of bottom of a cutoff point. It can make a nice file server as long as you don't need a graphical user interface, or it could, be a Linux file server, probably quite happily. But it's this graphical user interface and trying to use it on the internet that is the problem. And we're getting the same slow experience in this light version of Linux as we got with Windows 8.1. So yeah, to kind of wrap things up, I guess, the point in this video is to say that the internet is not designed for older laptops and older hardware. If you want to use fully multimedia websites and video playback and things like that, it's just doesn't really matter probably what you do. It's not going to be up to the task. And yes, we can get plugins that help. The H.264 plugin is really good, really helped with video playback, but it's not the solution for every kind of thing. So yeah, what do you think? Is this just kind of like the wrong laptop for the internet? Is this just basically too slow? I mean, I've kind of answered that. It is too slow. But are there things that we can do that, is there a way of making the internet less intense? I suppose I could look at installing some ad blockers. That might be an option. But what else? Do you still use old systems on the internet? How do you get that working? How do you cope with how slow everything is and how much junk is on websites these days? Once again, thanks for watching, and hope you've liked this video. Feel free to subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks and goodbye. Ooh, this is a nice feature. It's just told me about an update available for this web browser. I guess updates are something I'll probably cover in a different video. But yeah, nice feature, and I get the option of updating or not updating. Updating the Pale Moon browser has sort of sorted out the problem with the Guardian website. So this is looking much better for just general web pages. But it's still pretty slow and still uses a lot of processor.